another video. I see a lot of questions out there about what do you do for work if you're living in a bus. And it may not be for everybody, but stick around and I'll show you what I do all summer. So I spend my summers working for a whitewater rafting company and have probably for the last 16 years. If you have a CDL, you can drive the bus, and they're always looking for bus drivers. Many of them are, and sometimes you do different things like cook lunch and help out, but you can just drive the bus, and again, it's not terrible pay, and it's pretty easy job. You also have the again, you have a bus, so you can practice and get your CDL license. So check whether you need your an air brake endorsement, and the other thing too is double check to make sure the buses that you're driving are either standard or automatic, because in Maine anyway, if you have a standard bus, in order to drive a standard bus, you actually have to take the test in the standard bus. So that's kind of the way the rule was, but a bit odd, I guess. So that's one option, drive the bus. And well, you can drive the bus every once in a while, but I really like doing extra guiding the rafts. So really the best way to describe it is that guiding rafts is like summer camp for grown-ups. So this is a bit atypical, I think, for many guides, but not out of the question. I like to, again, I'm an early riser, so I like to get up, and since I live right on the river, I go up and I paddle Class 5 crib works, most mornings, just it's cool, the mist coming off the water and the wildlife, and it's just a great way to start the day. And then, because I've chosen to live on the river, I could live, and again, I pay a little bit of rent here, I could live for free at our base, but that's further away from the river, and I would rather be here on the water. So it does make a commute for me, which I can carpool with some of my buddies, and we go in together. And then first part of the day is trip meeting, decide who's going to do what. We need someone to blow up the rafts, we need someone to prep the food, and then someone to greet the guests and do all the paperwork. And the food crew will prep that and bring that up to the lunch site and drop that off, and then meet the rest of the trip at the put-in. The put-in crew will blow up all the rafts at the put-in, and then wait for everybody else, and then the check-in people answer questions, get people geared up with all their stuff, and bring them up to the put-in. And then everybody gets off the bus, and again, you could be driving the bus, or you could be driving a raft, either one. And you meet your guests, and you teach them how to paddle, and you paddle all day. Most trips, some trips around the country are a couple hours, and they do multiple trips a day. Up here it's a pretty long day. It's a good 6 hours on the water, and yeah, you teach them how to paddle, get through some very exciting rapids, make some great relationships, and those have been groups now that have been coming up for 12 years that I've become really good friends with, and they stay in touch. So it's a wonderful opportunity to meet some really cool adventure-seeking people, all day, and it's just awesome. And then you say you go back to base, and put away the gear, and then a lot of times we'll watch pictures or see a video of the day. Maybe have a couple drinks and then say goodbye. Hopefully they'll come back next year, which again they do, and then do a post-trip meeting. And then a lot of times after work we'll go paddling again. We'll kayak or raft, or most of the time we'll cook dinner together. If you saw the Dutch oven video, that's kind of a lot of stuff we'll do. What have you got to dinner? I got this and I got that, and we get together and cook, and then maybe play some cards, play some cribbage, or play some pinochle or something like that. So it's an awesome day. So to be certified as a raft guide, it depends state to state. In Maine, you have to go through a week of training to get what we call a level 1 license. You get all your runs in, you do the training, and then you take a written test. You need basic first aid and CPR. If you're a trip leader, you need at least one person on the trip who has like a advanced first aid or a wilderness first responder or something like that, those type of certs. Maine doesn't require a swiftwater rescue, but a lot of us have it just because, well, it's really fun to go and hang out and play in the water doing swiftwater rescue stuff. So other states are different. You just have to run the river a couple times with someone who's certified, or the owner of the company, and they sign off saying you're competent. So it really depends on state to state what kind of training you need. So you have to check into that in those different states and those different rivers. It's definitely a physical job. Obviously you have to like the water, but you're moving a boat with sometimes a lighter boat would be 2 or 3, but also most times 6 to 8, sometimes 10. and so paddling that boat through rapids is very physical and very demanding. Moving the rafts are heavy. A lot of times too, if the boat's upside down, which happens sometimes, and hopefully it's in a good spot, you have to be able to climb back onto the boat or into the boat and haul people in. So it's definitely a very physical job. Certainly at the end of the day, I'm pretty tired. At the end of the summer, I can definitely feel it in my shoulders and my back. So it definitely takes a toll on the body. But it's also a good thing too. It's a great way to stay in shape, which is good probably. Rather than sitting around, I like that physical challenge every day. The season obviously varies. Up here in the Northeast, we'll start around Memorial Day, and we'll go kind of through Columbus Day, and that's sort of the basic season. Obviously the Skoolie in West Virginia will run September and first part of October. And then you get some places out west like the Salt River in Arizona will run March and April. So the season really depends on the climate and where you are in the country. And I know a lot of my friends who are raft guides will often work in the ski industry in the wintertime. So they'll do the raft season through the fall, and then maybe pick up some odd jobs in the shoulder seasons. But then, starting Thanksgiving, November, they're starting to do the skiers and through to the end of April or so. So that might be another option, especially if your bus is rigged and set up for cold weather traveling. You could certainly guide in the summertime and then head on off to the skiers in the wintertime. And there are other guiding opportunities as well besides just whitewater rafting. In Maine, we call it a recreation license, which allows you to guide hiking trips and moose tours and canoe trips, and that's a great way. If you're not really into the hardcore whitewater, you can still guide and be at a base and live in the bus and lead those types of trips as well. So look at what's out there with different outfitters around the country, and tap into kind of where your interest and where your skill levels are. So anyway, that's my summer, something I look forward to every year. I'm super stoked to get out on the water and hang out with some adventure-seeking, really fun people. Many of these guests have transcended guest status and become really close friends. So it's just a tremendous culture, and I should mention that too about the river culture. I mean, the river people up here are fantastic. If I ever needed anything, there's a tool that shows up here because I mentioned it and someone drops it off. Oh, here, borrow this, and you can always count on river people to be there when you need them. It's a really tight-knit community, great friends, great people to be around, and I just absolutely love being part of this world, and it's worked out really well for me. So if you have any questions about becoming a guide or different parts of the country, put them in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer it. I love talking boating, and again, hopefully it's not for everybody, for sure, not for everybody, but for many people it could be kind of a really cool way to live a lifestyle that you really like and put some money in the pockets as well. So thanks for watching, checking in. I certainly appreciate everything, all the support. Again, comments, questions, put them in there. Like, subscribe, do all those things you do. Until next time, I'll see you down the road, or I'll see you on the river. Thanks for watching.